Hello everyone, welcome to another episode here on Tamurkhan campaign, episode 35, and we do have a lot of dwarfs coming our way. Now the victory conditions of course are to get known at this point. That's all that I need to do. So what I will be doing is basically showcase how I can defeat the dwarfs and typically the sort of actions that I will do. So just quick moving here. I want to bring 3 armies versus 3 armies, and if they retreat, this is excellent because it will just allow me to attack their armies in a different manner. So this is perfect. Yeah, there we go. Now it's 3 armies against 2, and they're going to the same side. And likely I can fight this army alone. Let's see if it retreats. It retreats to another place. So that's how you do it. Now those 3 armies are mine to take for the taking. So I just want to illustrate a little bit of how these fights will go. Even though I'm auto-resolving a lot of these ones, I don't feel like they're a threat, especially to my biggest armies like this one from Rulak or this one from Tamar. I feel like I can just join these 2 armies and deal with all of this. So let me attack here. Likely they're going to retreat. Yeah, there we go. But now he cannot retreat any longer. So the fact that he cannot retreat any longer means I'm going to have 2 armies versus 2 armies, and they're not really well developed to fight me. So let's just go for it. And this should be an interesting battle. I do not agree with the Pyrrhic victory whatsoever. I mean, we're gonna have... Well, he might do some damage. That's a lot of hammers, and that's a lot of Longbeards with great weapons. So that's a lot of armor-piercing units there. But it's a doable battle without too many casualties. If I have a Pyrrhic victory, I believe it's because I missed out and I had some damages on my units. So even this first army can deal with most of what he's deflecting just because of that Earthquake mortar and that artillery unit. Those are all my artillery units that are on the back here. It will cause a lot of damage. So yeah, those reinforcements are nice, but they don't have anything that deals with large units. So I'm going to have just a very strong flank. Yeah, my Dreadquick mortar, I want to save the ammunition, because I definitely don't want him missing shots like this. I want to see if they will come in over, you know, one of these locations and near one of those cliffs so that he joins up everything. So let me just force march. I think I can move these guys here. I don't want to move here because of the artillery. Hold on. The artillery, I really don't want it there. Yeah, let's just move here. I didn't want them to... I want them a little bit more dispersed. And here's the enemy coming in. There we go. Here we go. So these guys are now firing on those slayers. And here come the reinforcements. Okay, that's good. It's going to be difficult. It's really difficult to control 40 units. I never really like it, especially with a lot of characters. It's a big problem. But at least with the infantry, I can do that. So I can just put the infantry like this. Like this. There we go. Let me remove the auto fire there and now hit the units like those hammers there. That's good, because otherwise they'll just attack the first unit and that's it. Let me have all the front line. That's a lot of chosen and aspiring champions. They're maybe not going to arrive in time, but that's up to me. So let me join in with the cavalry units and just have all the cavalry units here. I'm going to keep joining in the units on group 4. That's one more. And there we go. That's all the cavalry. Now we have some single entities. Let's just put this guy here. It heals up, so that's good. Some single entities here, and that's nice. I don't even have the possibility of controlling all of this with all the breath attacks and all the abilities and such. I just want to ensure that at least my artillery hits good targets. So something in the middle Let's see, I don't think I'm actually going to visualize this, but he had 72 kills at that moment, and that's going to be a hit that's going to hit, what, 4 or 5 units? That was a massive hit. Yeah, that was a massive hit immediately. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of sad I'm actually not checking. Yeah, 76 kills. And now it's going to hit another one. I mean, look at that. That's insane hitting right there. And now I'm hitting all the other good units. I need to hit the bolt throwers because I really don't want to be hit by the enemy artillery. Look, one of my chosen units is getting toast. That's a big problem. I think I can go with him over there. Oh, another Dreadquake shot that's going to kill a lot of them. It's 314, 316 kills, 360 kills. Oh my goodness. That last shot, of course, the first one removes the health. The second one does the killing. So yeah, I think the Dreadquake mortar just did the job. That was, what, like 5 units, 6 units completely wrecked. So those are giant slayers, and of course they're good against cavalry units, but they're not good against this many. Hammers definitely are not, especially under the charge. So let me just put these guys here. There's no point sending everyone there. Yeah, let's attack some slayers. They're unbreakable, I'll give you that. And let's start hitting some... Okay, you managed to destroy or rout that artillery unit. That's great. Let me just move him back. He can fly, so he's gonna be surviving all, that's it. Do I want that? I don't think so. You definitely want a Fate of Bjorn as someone. Knights of the Blazing Sun. I feel that's good. I don't want him to have any mobility whatsoever. That's the only mobility unit that he has. While my cavalry is just, you know, over here. Definitely a purple sun over there on those thunderers. That feels good. I'm gonna actually take away these chosen. I don't need them. Yeah, the cavalry unit is gone. Glorious mutilation. Let's issue everything. There we go. There we go. That's cool. Oh no, that's the Dreadquake mortar. Hold on. What am I telling him? Let's attack here. And you guys, you can use that ability and attack... Oh, the Goblin Hewers. Yeah, the Grudge Hewers. Yeah. Let's hit the Longbeards. You're gonna hit the Thunderers. You're gonna hit that hero over there. I can get some heals going. So let me just get someone in the thick of things. I didn't. No, but they're suffering, so I gotta be careful with that. Let's attack those Longbeards, and let me make a purple sun over here. Actually, I need to heal. Can he cast? Yep. He stopped casting. Ugh. Let me hope for a good cast there. I think it's gonna whiff. No, actually managed. That's cool. Then there's some units coming in over there, so I'm just gonna send the toads, the toad dragons. They were kind of in reserve. Yep. Oh, that's good. Gonna get some armor reduction there. That's great. And you guys, I'm just gonna send it here. There we go. A little bit of damage. Over here, everything is fine. Yeah, it seems my cavalry is doing just well. And if I retreat the cavalry or go back to the hammer and anvil, that should be okay. Okay, they're retreating. For the most part, I think the battle is over. Gotta be careful with my Dreadquake mortar there. Yep. Let's hit a character. Just so that it's a quicker army losses. At this point, I'm very close to triggering their army losses. Oh, there's so many things to micro that I'm even not checking everything. Yeah, but they're already going into army losses. I knew that because, of course, that was eventually what would happen. But I almost lost my Dread Quick Mortar there. I gotta be careful there. But yeah, that's a nice battle. So this is typically what will happen. And yes, this will be a Pyrrhic victory because of that loss on the Dreadquake Mortar. Let me just continue and chase everyone else. And it actually was decisive victory. I thought it would go Pyrrhic because of that. 9k damage! And I didn't even do that well with it. I mean, that's just a ton of hammers and Longbeards who did nothing because of that artillery. Yeah, and then of course my cavalry just soaked up most of the enemy infantry. Who says Chaos Knights are not good? Yeah, they can be used. Of course, Rot Knights did the most damage there because they do have that regeneration. It helps against those infantry units. But Chaos Knights at this point, they do just wonderfully against infantry units like this. Let me save up a screenshot of this. I really want to showcase it. It's a nice one to have. Alright, so this is how you do it. And I'll have to... I'm gonna develop a little bit now. But I'm gonna have to jump up a few turns. Maybe 10 or so on the next episode. Just to see if I can have some battles against the Empire as well. And showcase those as well. And also to, you know... it's not possible to showcase everything on one of these campaigns. I have to choose what I show and what I find it will be likely more entertaining as well. So just a key example of how to do things. Now, that was an interesting battle against the Dwarfs. But I still want to see them with, you know, a full line of Iron Breakers and some Hammers or some Giant Slayers and then a lot of artillery or flyers like Thunder Barges. So it's good that I'm destroying these guys, but I kind of am sad that I'm not seeing the typical endgame armies yet for the Dwarfs. Now, gotta move over here. Maybe I'll just underway it. Yeah, there we go. And Tamurkhan, you can go over here. Likely I'm going to need some more armies. So if I move in there, I gain a little bit more income, so that's cool. Yeah, there we go. Lord of Nurgle. Let's get a little bit more growth. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be at war with the Empire quite soon. I just hope it's after I've dealt with most of the Dwarfs. And then I can make it just a short, long victory. Actually, it's a long victory that's way too long because I conquered Cathay before going against the Empire. But it should be interesting. Should be interesting to fight the Empire in such a developed state. I mean, they have, what, 100 settlements between Wissenland and Reichland, so that's interesting. So, of course, because I was delayed going against Cathay, then I now have to fight the Empire on a much stronger state, basically. But this should be interesting. Yep. What else? I'm getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of income because all of those armies have reduced upkeep from the presence of being on the presence of my my legendary lord Tamurkhan, because he has that skill that gives them less upkeep. So yeah. What else do we do? I'm gonna have to do a lot of skills. Over there, I'm going to dominate those. I don't know if I'm going to go into the Badlands already or if I'm just going to finish off against the Dwarfs, against Thoric. Let's go for anything that gives me some defenses. Yeah. I think here it's the better defensive place, the high place. And it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Oh, I have some plagues, but nothing that has the reduced upkeep or the income from all buildings, so I'm going to have to wait a few turns there. I could start plaguing just to decrease the power of the enemy, but he does still have that. So I can recruit a few more units here. Yeah, I'm going to not build that up, just so that I have income to recruit some units. Nothing really interesting here, and I'm pretty sure that these guys... I could get some bloodthirsters, but I'm pretty sure these guys are going to get destroyed. And unless I have something interesting here... If I had some minotaurs, well, giants could be cool. Chosen, I believe I have more than enough. I need some more cavalry units. And then some toads, or maybe some great unclean ones. I think the great unclean ones would be a nice army. Yeah... Oh, some soul grinders. I could use some soul grinders, some artillery to deal with the enemy artillery. After all, we're fighting the Empire very soon, so or at least I want to have an army that can beat them. So I couldn't recruit all of them. That's a small bug there. But yeah, turn 133. Let's move one more so that I have enough gold to get... over here on Wei Jin. There we go. Income from all buildings. That's going to be excellent. It's the only building that is going to matter for this part. And yeah, the Empire is going to slowly destroy Arval. He doesn't have a shot. I think I can have another soul grinder. Yep. Another soul grinder. So that's cool. That's 3. That's an army. Okay, these two armies can survive against what he has, because the Reichland is conquering on the basis that nothing can survive against it, not on the basis that they are fielding good units. They still are not fielding their top doomstacks, let's say, with lots of land ships and siege tanks. Not always, not everywhere. There's a few of them there. So yeah, the dwarfs keep sending in their armies, but they're not enough. Not against what I have here. And they're suffering a lot of attrition as well. So we already fought a big battle against the dwarves. We now know how it works. Let's resolve a few of these battles just to get some of the damage going. Always move closer. Just at the edge. There we go. It's sometimes difficult to see, but it's always possible. There we go. That's going to be a nice target. I need just 2 armies against this guy. I'm going to retreat? Okay. Can you move? Can you move? I think so. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, that's a decisive victory. Let me just give a little bit of some augments here. This banner swiftness looks good there. Do I have further reinforcements? I have a lot of them. No casualties on anywhere. That's good. I have 3 armies versus 1, so I mean, that's the definition of a decisive victory and an auto-resolve. Even then, I kind of wish sometimes that the auto-resolve was better, because it does give me some casualties that I would never have. Just based on unit quality, of course. And dwarves have the best, likely the best auto-resolve in the whole game. They're just silly with the amount of stuff that they can do. Yep, that's good. Now, even without artillery, I could do a lot of damage to them. So let's just replenish a little bit, ensure that I get to replenish well. I don't want to have to suffer too many consequences. There's some casual replenishment plague there, so that's cool. Yeah, and I've broken through. There's like this last army over here. I can send these guys. If he intercepts me, it would be so nice. It would be cool. Yeah, I gotta replenish. Replenishment is gonna be the pain of this campaign, actually. That's where I could use cults offensively like that to ensure that I have the necessary Nurgle corruption whenever I invade, but it always works out so nicely. Yeah, let's auto this one. Loot and occupy. A little bit of lag there. There's always some lag in the end. Okay, there's another army there, so that's 2 full armies, but I mean, I've broken through. I'm pretty sure I can just conquer the whole of Thoric's forces without suffering too much right now, so that's cool. Let's get the growth, the rest corruption. I don't want anything more military too much, you know, just ensuring that I have the amounts of chosen. Interesting that Belegar is not sending anyone. So for now, I'm actually having 2 armies to defend against nothing. So maybe I can send one on the offensive there and trigger him. But it's always difficult. Like, kind of what I want is to sweep through the south, destroy Thoric, then come back and destroy Belegar. And by that time, I likely am at war with the Empire. And I'll have a few more forces to ensure that I don't lose against the Empire. And if I can capture the places from the Empire, that's always going to be nice. Yep, I'm just checking for any places where I can build up more gold. Yeah, that gold mine, that's another income. Whenever I have some income to do, I'll like it. So any income buildings are welcome. At this point, that's the kind of the only thing that I'm actually pushing for. Nurgle corruption is actually good and growth also works, but I'm prioritizing just getting the income. Do I have anything income-wise here? No specific buildings, no, nothing there. I could go there, but I mean, I have so many provinces that likely I have some places where I still don't have the tier 3 or tier 4 buildings for income. Or growth, of course. If you have over 200 growth, that's excellent. Yeah, there we go. One more. Even though I could just stop building altogether and just amass the money to get in upkeep reduction, I feel like this is the better option. You know, just don't go too much into the infections, because obviously we don't need any more of that, but go into the income. Alright, that'll be on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.